This is the Charity Challenge kickoff. I'm here just to introduce the changes, and then I'll pass the mic over to all of our charity partners to talk more about what they're doing and how you can help. So as you know, we are all in extraordinary circumstances, the games and just life in general. So at Corporate Challenge, we've had to make quite a few changes. And obviously those changes affect all aspects of the games, including the Charity Challenge. So for those of you who don't know what the Charity Challenge is, I can just go quickly over it and then we'll talk about the changes. So the Charity Challenge is an optional component of the games that we do every year. It's my personal favorite component, but it used to be worth points, and this year, for a lot of reasons, we aren't doing points anymore, but we still think it's really important to get our companies to engage with our charity partners because they're still working really hard in our community despite what's going on, maybe even more because of what's going on. So we were really excited to find a way to keep the Charity Challenge in the games this year. And we've changed the format, as you can see. So if you were in the games last year, or even if you joined us in January when things were very different, you would have noticed that we had giving opportunities. And it was 5 different ways that you could interact with our charities. And each of those would be worth a certain amount of points, 1 point. And at the end of the year, we always do sort of a wrap up where we showcase all of the great work that our participants have done. And this year we've decided to shift the focus away from individual companies and see everyone as part of one big Corporate Challenge community. And in that way, we have introduced a new thing that we're calling community goals. So our Corporate Challenge community is obviously our participants, it's the staff, it's our charity partners, it's also all of your friends and family, and really anyone who you can talk to about any of our charity partners. So with that new focus, each of our charity partners, 9 of our charity partners, have come up with one community goal, which is the one thing that our community can do, come together to complete for them that is the most meaningful. And if you take a look at our website, you'll see all of them listed. There's like a little measuring thing that as we get closer to our goal, it'll fill up, and I think it's really cute. So check it out. But that's basically it, is we have these community goals. We would love for all of our participants, all of the companies, all of your friends and family to do everything you can to support our charity partners. And without further ado, we'll hand it over to the charities. We'll start with HomeFront. So Nicole, if you want to unmute yourself, and I will stop sharing my screen if you want to share. Do you have a presentation to share?
Yeah, I do.
We did this with no practice, everyone, so bear with us. It's not COVID, by the way, that cough.
Are we, is that good? Everyone can see that? Yeah, hopefully. Okay. Thank you guys for having me here today. I'm sorry if you can hear Paw Patrol in the background. I had to keep my toddler entertained. So yeah, I'm Nicole from HomeFront, Nicole Scarbosa. I am the communications and events specialist with HomeFront, and I've been with them for over 11 years, so seems like almost a lifetime. So I'll just quickly kind of go over just really high level what we do in the community, and then talk about more deeply about our community goal and why we chose it. So HomeFront, we're a nonprofit organization, and we support families impacted by domestic violence. So basically everything we do is based in collaboration. So we collaborate with the police, the justice system, and a number of community partners to do our work. So all of our files are referred to us through the Calgary Police Service. So when someone calls the police for domestic violence and a charge is laid, that's when HomeFront gets involved. So we're a free and voluntary service, and we get in touch with the victims on these files, and we're there to kind of support them through the entire journey of the court process. 20 years ago, back when HomeFront began, they also started the Specialized Domestic Violence Court, which is a court that's designated to just dealing with domestic violence files. They found prior to that you know, victims weren't engaged in the court process because it was being treated as any other criminal matter. And so this courtroom is really holistic and treatment-based, and is very collaborative in helping these individuals and these families. And so our HomeFront case managers have a number of different roles that they do with the victims through their journey. So they support them by giving them court updates so that they don't have to attend court unless there is a trial, of course. But that means they don't have to, miss work or get childcare in order to have those updates. We also help to refer them to different agencies in the city should they require shelter or counseling services. We'll help to refer them out to whatever they might need. Obviously, this is a overwhelming and stressful time that they're in right now. So any other community services we can help attach them to, we do. Another big thing we do is safety planning. So our belief is that they are allowed to choose whether they want to go back to the relationship or they want to leave the relationship. And our goal is to help make sure that they're safe in doing so either way. And we're also there to provide emotional support and also act as their voice in court. So like I mentioned, the specialized domestic violence court is treatment-based. And so we want the victim's voice to be heard. They know this relationship best and this individual best. And they generally can share the wishes they would like to see out of the court outcome, whether that be drug and alcohol treatment, anger management counseling, kind of along those lines. So we support clients through the duration of the court process. That could be anywhere from a few months to a few years. Whatever is needed in that time, we're there for them. So that's just really high level what we do and how we support. There's lots more I can share, but I will keep it super, super short. So this year is our 20th anniversary. Like I mentioned, we started in 2000 with the opening of the specialized domestic violence court, and HomeFront started that year. So we were hoping to do a big celebration event in November, but of course with everything happening, we've had to cancel that. So we thought it would be fun to kind of make a goal tying into our 2020. So to celebrate that milestone, we're hoping to get 2,020 people to pledge $20 each, which would make up to $40,000, which would help recoup some of the costs that we will be losing from not having our event this year. So we think that's a pretty doable goal. Hopefully $20 is something that people are able to donate. And I know a lot of companies have done, trivia events or small things like that people can pledge their $20 that way, and it'll all be counted in for the greater good. So yeah, that's all for me. If you want to learn more about HomeFront, you can go to our website at homefrontcalgary.com, or you can feel free to email me if you have any questions about our goal or what we're working on right now. So thank you.
Perfect, thanks, Nicole. Great, and then we'll do KidSport. So Kevin, you can unmute and share your slides.
Hey, thanks, Jackie, and the Corporate Challenge team. I think it's been pretty cool to watch just how quickly the Corporate Challenge has done an about face from planning an in-person games here over the last couple months to putting together the extraordinary circumstances. So cheers to the team there, and to all the companies to still have, over 100 companies that want to be involved. This is exactly the type of thing that our community needs to get going again and get everyone active. So thank you everyone for everything you're doing, and to the other charity partners for continuing to step up for our community. We're very fortunate here in the city that we live in, that we have so many great causes that are doing amazing things for our most vulnerable people. So we're going to talk a little bit today just about our KidSport Back to Sport project. So for those who don't know about KidSport, we were opened our doors here in Calgary in 1995. So this year we were celebrating our 25th anniversary. Happy anniversary, Nicole. We had some big plans in place as well to celebrate that, and we're still going to do everything we can to integrate our 25th anniversary into the remainder of our year with the goal of helping more low-income kids get back into sport, get off the sideline through providing sport registration fees or no-cost equipment to those families. So with building the Back to Sport project, we put together a couple videos, which this may not work either. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that just because I know we're working on time. So the families we support are ultimately dealing with a lot of other challenges in their households. Sport isn't always a conversation at their dinner table, keeping food on the table, keeping employment, finding employment, keeping a roof over their head are most times a bigger priority. So sport is something we want to make easy for these families, and for kids like Chloe and her mom, Amanda, sport is an outlet that they wouldn't otherwise have. So we want a little opportunity for kids to have friends and role models through coaches and peers. And sport can just provide so many things that, you know, for many of these families, it's just a positive outlet that, that they need. And we're trying to find as many of those families to make sure they know about us and can access the support that they need. So like I mentioned, we opened our doors in 1995. Calgary is the largest chapter in the country for KidSport. We're also the only chapter in the country that has our own equipment bank. So last week we changed the name of the equipment bank, now known as the Calgary Flame Sports Bank. So together with our sports bank, we're able to provide the registration fee assistance as well as no cost equipment. And we're 100% community funded, so no government funding. We raise everything we do right here in our community through great partnerships like the Corporate Challenge and with companies involved. We've distributed over $14 million in 24 and a bit years now and helped over 66,000 kids with the goal every year of never having to say no to a qualified family. Families are qualified based on their household income. And our job is, if someone meets the criteria that we've set out, that we find a way to get them money or equipment to support them. This year, obviously been a little bit different. Sports shut down on March 16th, I believe it was. We started funding kids here again in the middle of June as sport began to slowly reopen. This year, we've already distributed a little over $300,000, almost 2,000 kids. And since the reopening of sport, over 300 kids have received some assistance from us. The Corporate Challenge, we've been fortunate to be part of now for over 10 years. And it's a huge part of what we're able to do, not only in the awareness that it provides in having our brand tied to being, you know, one of Calgary's biggest events, especially when you think of volunteer hours, number of participants, number of companies, something we're very fortunate to be involved in terms of opening a lot of doors to corporate Calgary, as well as individuals that are active through a typical year of Corporate Challenge that are participating in sporting activities. Many of know the value of sport and therefore resonate with KidSport and wanting to help us get more kids active and engaged in organized sport. The companies are the ones that make it happen. The company captains, we're fortunate to have be able to build a relationship with all those company captains, and the success of KidSport's involvement really comes down to how we can help your organization get involved. So these were the bottom of this slide are our original charity challenge points that we put together. And then our new community goal is to get 500 kids back to sport, which we think is definitely achievable. We're going to do that by providing registration fee assistance and through the equipment packages that we've put together. And this is why we do what we do, to give parents the chance to say yes to their kids when otherwise there's a lot of no's in terms of what opportunities are available, to turn a light on for kids.
Go to any of the mobile clinics. And again, Carmen will be the person to put you in touch with where to go. We are giving away points for the COVID Hero Trophy. There's 5 ways to do it. You can give awareness in terms of booking, like, let's say something like this, virtual presentation, Give Goods. So if you're looking to donate blood, you see some dates on the screen there: August 4th, August 10th, August 24th, 25th, 26th, and 27th. You can give back by booking 3 or more group appointments between February 1st and September 5th, which a lot of people have done, so good on you. Thanks for doing that. The Give Funds hasn't changed. We're looking for $200 per organization. You'll get a point to do that. Jackie will have the link there that she could also pass off if you didn't get a chance. And the one thing that Canadian Blood Services is always in need of is those new donors. We need a minimum of 6 new donors per group, and that'll give you a point. And the need for new donors is for 2 reasons, actually. One of our biggest and strongest groups of donors is going to be the aging population. They're reaching a point that they need medication, and one of the reasons that you can't donate has to do with people on medication. The other side to that is cancer treatment. A lot of the blood, actually most of the blood that we collect here in Canada goes towards people going through cancer treatments. Now, typically when we ask anyone in the room if they have any friends or family members that are going through cancer treatment, the answer is always yes. It's at least 50% of the room. And that surprises people because a lot of times they always just think it's accidents, it's car accidents, it's surgeries, but most, like I said, go towards cancer treatments. So we're looking for, here in Calgary, we need at least 50,000 new blood donors a year. And that's because the need is constant. Every minute of every day, somebody needs blood. Again, if you do want to find out if you're eligible to donate blood, or you want to know what would make someone ineligible, the best place to do to get that information would be on our website at blood.ca. If you do have any very specific questions in terms of medication, let's say, that you're taking and you want to know if you can donate blood, the number to call hasn't changed in 20 years. It's 1-888 to donate, and you could talk to someone in French or in English, depending on if you want to brush up on your French. But the goal for this campaign with Calgary Corporate Challenge is 4,000 units of blood. And currently we're sitting at 2,900. So we're well on our way, but there is still time to achieve that target. And we think this is a very reasonable target. The reason that we lowered it from last year has to do with COVID-19. You've got a lot of people working from home. There's a million other things that they're thinking about. So we did lower that target from 5,000 last year to 4,000 this year, but we don't think that's too unachievable. And that's all I really wanted to talk about, Jackie. I hope that was 5 minutes. If anyone does have any questions, I'll stay to the very end. Okay, guys?
Yeah, that was a speed round.
It was. Was it 5 minutes? Was that good?
Yeah, all the slides will be available also. So if there was something that you really wanted to look into, I will make these slides available after.
Okay.
Now
Thank you very
move
much.
to Tara. Yeah, thank you. From Calgary Food Bank.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes this mic doesn't work very well.
It is a little quiet.
Okay. Is it showing me the presentation or is it just showing like the PowerPoint?
It's showing the PowerPoint screen.
Okay, why is this not working? There we go.
There it is.
All right. So my name is Tara. I have worked for the Calgary Food Bank for about just over 4 years. This will be my 5th corporate challenge, and the food bank's been involved with corporate challenge for about 16 years now. So our mission as the food bank is together we fight hunger and its root causes, because no one should go hungry. So not only do we look at giving people food, we look at why people are hungry, why people are struggling financially, and we refer them to the different resources in the community. So everyone wants to know how we operate during the pandemic. I did share a video with Jackie, and it's on our YouTube channel, but it's going to put me way over my 5 minutes. So feel free to check it out yourself. But basically, our management team took the first 2 days of Calgary being shut down, rearranged everything. We had the first ever drive-in hamper pickup, or drive-through hamper pickup, I guess. We're booking probably about 10 appointments per hour. We've increased sanitation. Everyone wears a mask, everyone wears gloves, social distancing. In the one photo of the 3 on the bottom right, like people are literally staggered at least 6 feet apart. So a little bit about the food bank. We are the first line of emergency food for families and individuals in crisis. So like I had mentioned before, we give them food, we refer them to different organizations throughout the city, and they work with us and work with them to look at what's causing food insecurity. For the first time ever, so at the end of March, food banks were declared an essential service. So up until this point, food banks were not an essential service. So we're very excited that that is finally like in there. Just to give you an idea of how many hampers we are giving out each day. Daily, it's about 200 hampers. Weekly, it's about 1,000. Now, give or take, depending on when subsidy checks are coming in and out. But on average, we're also helping about 2,500 people daily. No, weekly, 2,500 weekly. Our community goal this year is 500 hampers, although I think I should have increased it because we are more than halfway to the goal already. Last year, there was about 1,800 hampers that were created. So even if we can hit 1,000 this year, that would be super awesome. So we've got 3 different ways to give. You can give in all 3 ways, pick one. It honestly depends on your organization and your capacity. So the first option is donate $250. That will provide 20 hampers. We partner with the CBE, and we will be partnering with the CBE when school starts back up in September. Basically, if students coming to school hungry, maybe they're part of a breakfast program, maybe their family already gets food hampers on the weekend. Like normally, the students get referred by the teachers. We give them 2 days worth of kid-friendly meals, so something that a 6-year-old could actually make themselves. The second option is the Weekends and More hamper. So many of you are familiar with that. I will assure you all that I personally went and shopped both at Walmart and at Superstore for all of these items. We have made them not as specific. And the list for sure only indicates that the quantity there is for 5 hampers. And this list is available for download on our website, as well as I forgot to mention the donation page as well. The third option is to build baby hampers. So we're asking for 5 as well. Basically, we're still seeing an average of 75 families that require a baby hamper. So it's still a high need. We weren't able to do our diaper drive this past spring due to COVID. So this actually is a bit of a higher need now. And again, the list is available online. So for more information, or if you need to chat about like some different ideas, I have like one group doing a raffle internally with their office, and they're going to donate the funds so we can purchase the goods, or you collect funds somehow and then go out and purchase the goods. I know some organizations were looking for options because their health and safety internally won't allow them to actually go to the store to purchase goods. So we can work with you on that as well. So reach out, we'll figure something out. We've got lots of contacts in the food industry. And that is it.
Perfect. Thank you. All right. Now we've got Nina from Heart and Stroke, all the way from Edmonton.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm calling in from Edmonton. Just make sure that you are getting my presentation. Does everybody see that?
Yep.
Perfect. So my name's Nina Iwasko. I'm actually out of Edmonton. We've had to temporarily lay off a lot of our staff right now, just to try to combat some of our shortfalls due to COVID-19. So I'm excited that I've had the opportunity to work with Jackie and Calgary Corporate Challenge. I work with them here in Edmonton for Edmonton Corporate Challenge. So it's a great program, and I just really want to say thank you to you guys. We would love to be able to get on a big red bike with everybody in a couple short weeks here, but since that's not possible, it's really great that we're still getting this opportunity to work with you all in a community way. So thank you for all your work. So Heart and Stroke has been around since 1952. And in that time, we've been able to have some really great success. We've actually funded over $1.55 billion in life-saving research in that time. So that's an amazing number. And that's from the first successful open heart surgery right through to the discovery of the gene responsible for heart arrhythmias. So our researchers have led life-saving research advances in heart condition, stroke, and vascular dementia. And we're also super excited to say that even though COVID has taken a little bit of wind out of our sails, we're still currently funding 750 researchers across Canada. And because of all of this great work, we've actually seen a 75% decline in heart disease and stroke-related death since 1952. But unfortunately, some more work still needs to be done. Unfortunately, every 5 minutes, heart disease, stroke, and related conditions take a life. And over 400,000 Canadians are affected by stroke. But there is good news. 80% of heart disease and stroke, premature heart disease and stroke, is preventable. So a big part of Heart and Stroke and what we do is also helping educate the public on how they can stay healthier and have more successful lives without heart disease and stroke. And this year, unfortunately, the need is even more urgent than ever. There's a lot of things happening due to COVID-19, and both the work we do and the people we do it for have been devastatingly impacted by the COVID crisis. And we found out that there's an increased mortality rate for 4 times more for patients with heart disease and 3 times more for stroke survivors versus those with no underlying conditions. And that's a really scary number because over 1.6 million Canadians are living with heart disease and stroke. And so they're just at higher risk. So how can you help? Well, you guys have done amazing work, all of your corporations over the years. And so this year we made a goal that we're really excited about, $10,000 for vital research. And I think we're going to blow that goal away just because of some of the great work that's already being done. And it's really simple. All you want to have to do is click on the link on this page, which I'll send to Jackie so she can share with you. And you can just go to that team page. And from there, you'll be able to either click donate or join the team. Donating is easy. You just follow the steps, and joining the team is just like you would have as a member of your big bike ride, but now you'd be joining as the Calgary Corporate Challenge team. But you can invite friends and families to donate and see your team page as well, especially if you want to put a personal message to it. If you don't have access to the link, you can also go to myownfundraiser.ca and search Calgary Corporate Challenge. at myownfundraiser.ca. You'll just click on the donate button. From there, you'll click on find a team fundraiser. Put just the word Calgary in the search bar, and you'll come up with Calgary Corporate Challenge. Click on that link and it'll bring you directly to the Calgary Corporate Challenge team page again. So super easy. Hopefully it'll be easy to navigate for all of you. Really cool part of the team page is that there'll be a roster showing your the team progress, the community team progress, the team honor roll, and the top donors. So this will be a really great way for you to show people your team's work and have a little bit of bragging rights throughout it all. One thing we did figure out to help track your team's donation, it would be really good when entering in an online donation that you add your team name after your last name. For example, mine would be Iwasco-Heart and Stroke. And that's just so that on the roster, it should show up your team as well. Just again, to give a little nudge out there for all the companies that have been doing so much great work. For all of your Benevity donations, which a lot of you already do, just please include the Calgary Corporate Challenge in the comments field, and that'll just help us with tracking as well. And for contact information, please contact me anytime at nina.iwasco@heartandstroke.ca, and my direct line is 780-229-7013. And I just wanted to share with you guys, just because of all your hard work, and specifically Calgary Corporate Challenge and all of the wonderful companies that participate through there, in 2019, Heart and Stroke was able to fund 79 researchers for a total of $3.81 million in Alberta alone. So that is a lot of great work happening in our own backyard, and you guys have an amazing facility at your university. So fantastic work happening in Calgary. So thank you so much for your continued support to help us work on our mission of life uninterrupted by heart disease and stroke. Thanks, guys. And thank you again, Jackie and Calgary Corporate Challenge.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for coming. And now we'll jump to Claire at Ronald McDonald House.
Is this coming up for you guys?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great, so my name is Claire and I'm here in Calgary, based at the Calgary Ronald McDonald House. Really excited that we're all meeting virtually and we get the chance to still participate in Calgary Corporate Challenge, which I think, you know, working from home is tough on all of us in different ways. So this is just a great way for us to connect and do something we're familiar with in a lot of ways, even though it might look a little bit different this year. So at Ronald McDonald House, we essentially support families who are seeking critical medical treatment for their seriously ill or injured child. We also support expectant moms who may live too far away from a hospital. So that's a common thing that we do as well. Our warm, compassionate houses are located in Edmonton, Red Deer, Calgary, and soon to be Medicine Hat. We're opening August 4th. We provide a home away from home for families who are traveling for medical reasons. So at our houses, we are here to comfort and support families. We know that families can seek support from each other through the connection they experience at our houses. We also provide accommodation and meals for families to help them save costs. And we're also providing resources such as recreation programming and everything that a family might normally do at home to help reduce that impact of stress and the financial burden while they're staying at a home away from home. So in 2019, I wanted to share some numbers with you across Alberta. And we, of course, just had the 3 houses in 2019, which provided 1,220 nights of stay. 1,220 families stayed at our houses, which equated to 22,280 nights of stay. In the Calgary house specifically, as you see on the right side, we had 262 families stay with us throughout the year. and the average length of stay was 29 nights. So I know most of us never think of this, but if you got a call from your doctor tomorrow saying that you needed to go to Edmonton for medical care, and you picked up and stayed a month in a hotel and had to purchase all your meals and all your daily essentials, I know most of us probably aren't prepared for that kind of financial impact. So at the Calgary House and across Alberta, that's essentially what we do for families, is we're just providing that everyday type care at a very affordable cost. So this kind of ties into our community goal, which is 100 month-long family stays. The reason we chose a month was because our average stay last year was 29 nights. So with this goal, you can help families either through fundraising, such as an office raffle, or through Benivity, or just a general fundraiser that I'm happy to help you set up and get started. Or of course, you can just make a monetary donation either online or by check, and we can chat more about that too. So for every $300 raised, that will support a family's stay at the house for 1 month. We chose $300 because a family pays $10 per night to stay at one of our houses. So this $300 essentially covers the out-of-pocket expense for a family for a month. Now, if you want to do more, one of the things we still need most is also gift cards. So gift cards for us are something that we provide to families to help them purchase those everyday essentials like gas, groceries, toothbrush, clothes, shoes, things they might transition out of or need more of while they're staying with us. So for the gift cards, I know that through the drop-off, we can facilitate that in September, or you can always mail the gift cards to the house, and I can definitely help you with that. So there's a few different ways to help out, and I'm happy to chat more about them in more detail with you whenever you're ready. And my email, choffman@rmhcsca.org. And you can also find us online if you're curious and wanting more information. Thank you so much.
Great, thanks, Claire. Now we've got Laureen from Branch Out.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, let's see if I can. Make this happen. All right, just as all of the folks that went before me, I echo the thanks to Calgary Corporate Challenge and Jackie and everybody attending this session tonight. I think I don't think I need to reiterate how challenging these last few months have been, especially for organizations that fundraise through events. And so, having an opportunity to continue to reach out to the community, be involved in community programming like CCC, and hopefully raise some funds is incredibly important at this time. So thanks to everyone. I'm here representing Branch Out Neurological Foundation tonight. I'm the CEO and have just been with the organization only a few months, and have this is my first Calgary Corporate Challenge as well. So I'll just give you a very brief introduction to the organization and then share with you our community goal. So our challenge is that 1 in 3 Canadians are impacted by a neurological disorder. And what Branch Out identified a number of years ago was that there was obviously need for more incentive for clinical impact, but there was also a demand for alternative forms of treatments from patients and families. So alternative forms of treatment, meaning treatments and technologies that are not typically funded or well funded in the academic research world. So, and then of course, one of the other issues is that research is often stuck in the lab and it doesn't get translated into community impact. So Branch Out coined a term called neurocam, which means neurology, the study of the brain, and complementary and alternative modalities of medical research. And then built that as a framework to ensure that the focus for the organization is around research, funding researchers who are interested in exploring opportunities for treatments that are kind of outside of the box, and but also need to be scientifically validated. So we've been doing that now for the last 10 years, funded over 80 programs, projects ranging from undergrad to PhD program projects, and some C grants, which are larger grants that provide principal investigators at our universities across Canada with opportunities to really dig into some of these interesting the projects that explore the neurochem environment. So some of the things that we support are nutraceuticals, which are how nutrition and naturally occurring systems and substances in the nervous system impact health and the brain. Of course, mind and body, so the relationship between psychology, mental functions, and behavior and physiology, the functions and activities of living things. Personalized therapies, with the idea that each person, even though they may have the same disorder or disease of the brain, is individual and has different reactions and implications when they are taking medications or treatments. And so we like to focus our support around individual treatment for people, not necessarily everybody gets the same, sort of interventions. And then technology is our fourth pillar, which is really about what's happening in the environment from a technological perspective that can help people manage disorders and give them a better quality of life, as well as perhaps even treatments for their conditions. So this year, our community goal is, we thought, we kind of go out there and be really bold. And so our community goal is to raise $20,000 for a master's project. So that would fund a master's student with a focus around mental wellness and purpose. We were purposeful around the mental wellness aspect because we have, seeing the impact of how COVID and the current situation, economic situation as well in Alberta, has impacted people, individuals and families, would like to put a focus on mental wellness within that neurochem paradigm. So we have put together, I think a number of things that we can do in terms for our corporate, let's say corporate investors that might be of interest. So as a corporation, we've actually been launched a number of lunch and learns over the past couple of months, and they've been very, very successful. So we've had over 100 attendees at our 2 lunch and learns, and there's a third one coming up, all with Imperial Oil. So those are hosted by Ty, our neuro guy, who is our scientific director, and he puts together very interesting, interactive, of course, Zoom lunch and learn presentations around various topics, and happy to discuss those with you if you have specific interests. But again, we are focusing around mental wellness, so treatment of depression and other mental disorders, mental health disorders. So we would love to be part of your community, your corporate community, by presenting to you. That's one of the ways that we can get involved and engage as a community. Of course, donations can be made through Benevity. As other people have mentioned, please indicate it's for CCC so we can track it. Of course, you can donate directly on our website, and then we can track it that way as well. So again, thank you very much for your support. We hope to have a brand new mental wellness master's project on the books by the end of the year. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Lorraine. Now let's go over to Kate and Jody from Big Brothers Big Sisters. You're gonna tag team this?
We are, you took the words out of my, we are tag teaming.
Awesome.
Bear with me as I try to share my screen.
Okay.
All right. I'm going to. All right, can you see the website?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. Jody McKay. I am the manager of recruitment and community engagement with Big Brothers Big Sisters. And again, as Lorraine just said, and many of you, we're thrilled to be back in working with in our second year of the corporate challenge and the charity portion. And kudos to all the charity partners again, and to corporate challenge for really being able to pivot and, you know, be nimble and to keep the work that we're all doing going in these, you know, challenging and new times. I'm going to take team with Kate and I'll let her introduce herself, but we also have, and we will attempt a video because we have a very exciting team we want to introduce you to. As we're hoping many of you know, Big Brothers Big Sisters is an agency where we focus on one-to-one mentoring. So it's providing that relationship to young people between the ages of 6 to 24 that really are in need of that caring developmental relationship. These are young people that we serve who come to us in a variety of ways, from other partners we work with, their families, supports in their life. These are young people who we know are in need of that additional relationship in their lives. As many of the charities have said, as COVID and the pandemic hit, we pivoted from a really in-person, face-to-face, and so many of our mentors, or bigs as we call them, really embraced the new virtual way. These relationships continued. They were doing some really neat things, and we're gonna introduce you to a match. One of our big brothers, Nicholas, who came to us through one of the corporations, and also his little, Edwin. So we're gonna introduce you to them via video. They've recently done a socially distanced interview with us, and they wanted to share their story and the impact that mentoring can have. Because Kate will follow up after the video and really talk to you about our goal of 15 matches. That can equate to about $30,000, and Kate will get into that, or 15 new mentors that we're in need of. As many of the charities have said, we know as we start to transition into what does life look differently outside of the pandemic, we know the impact of isolation that will happen to the families and the young people. We're going to need to be responsive. And part of that is getting a relationship, whether it's a hybrid of virtual, in-person, but to get these relationships, these mentoring, supportive relationships in the lives of young people in the communities we serve. Calgary, Cochrane, Airdrie, High River, and Okotoks. So the areas that we're looking at. So I am, Jackie, going to attempt the video. Let's cross our fingers. And we're gonna let Nicholas and Edwin really speak to all of you about the impact. Just so you know, this is one of our matches, as we call them, a big and a little, that have been together for 9 months. So ready to go. Can you see it? And I think I have.
So serious. Hi, my name is Nicholas.
And my name is Edwin. And we have been matched for, I do believe, 9 months.
And Edwin's an interesting young adult. He's 9 years old. Sometimes he can be a 35-year-old man, and sometimes he can be a 6-year-old child. You don't know what Edwin you're gonna get what day.
We would one day build a Lego set and the next day go out to the park and play badminton. So it's not normal, and nothing's normal, and it is very fun to do all of these things with Nicholas. We like all of the things, unless we don't. And in that case, we don't like all of the things.
But we'll try it one time.
Yeah, and we'll say either, I like this, I would like to do this again, or this is okay, but I think we have better things to do, or let us never speak of this again, please.
We love board games. We're on a mission to do 100 board games. We're on a mission. We're not making big progress right now, but we're on a mission to do 100 board games.
After COVID's over, we probably are gonna reach the goal, but the goal could also restart next year, so.
Good. During COVID was interesting because we don't do anything routinely. We try to keep it somewhat similar in the virtual life. So we did a lot of FaceTime and Zoom calls. Edwin's at home with his mom, and it's who he sees 99% of the time, and having just somebody else to talk to, and outside of like doing or talking about topics that you don't want to talk about with your mom sometimes. And there's topics that I want to talk about that my wife doesn't want to hear. So when I want to talk about Marvel and superheroes, Edwin's always available to have that conversation with me.
Also the same thing with my mom. Marvel superheroes. Conversations with just one person, 99.99999% of the time, are bad. I mean, I saw a couple other people, like my cousin, my aunt, my uncle. But like I said, it's not really the same to talk to somebody else who's your friend.
That's a 35-year-old Edwin. And that's a 6-year-old Edwin. See how it switches? You just never know. I think the biggest impact to a mentee is really just the exposure to different things and different walks of life. We're all pretty much in a bubble in our whole entire lives, obviously the COVID bubble, but outside of that, you interact with the same people, the same group of friends, or your family interactions. So I'm somebody who's in a brand new area of the world, and I think that I'm able to show Edwin things that I'm interested in that nobody in his immediate bubble or circle may be, in different careers and different opportunities. I think that's the biggest impact, I think. I think everyone should donate to All Star for Kids because it's funding a really successful and impactful program in your local community. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that our youth are set up in the right path, and it's a great way to do it through the mentorship program at Big Brothers Big Sisters. Be an all-star for kids. Donate today.
I'll take it over from here, Jody.
Yeah, so I'm going to turn this off.
Awesome. So for everyone, like Jody said, that was Nicholas and Edwin, who are an amazing match that we have. So they actually just came into the office with David and I to do a socially distant film as we get ready to launch our All Stars for Kids campaign, which is actually a campaign that runs throughout the month of August into September 10th. So it's perfect to align with Calgary Corporate Challenge. And every dollar that comes in through the All-Star campaign is actually matched by our matching partners. So every dollar becomes $2, which is amazing, which is why they're telling you to be an All-Star at the end there. Jody, did you want to pop open your screen again to show the website again? Thank you.
Sure.
So we have our charity challenge website up. So bvscalgary.ca/charity challenge. And that runs you through what our revised goal is for the new virtual games this year. So instead of kind of doing this or that, our two biggest needs that we have are volunteer mentors and dollars to create and support the matches that we do. So this year we've created the big companies help us to create and support 15 new matches. And there's two ways that we can kind of achieve this goal. So if you or your colleagues or friends and family that you know want to become a mentor and want to donate their time, they can become a big. So Nicholas in that video was a big. So he donates his time every week to see Edwin. obviously a little bit different throughout COVID. They did some Zoom dates. I guess not dates isn't the right word. They also did a socially distant walk, which isn't in that film clip, but if you guys watch our social media, you'll see it coming because, spoiler alert, Edwin has like erased it out of his memory because he's like, socially distant walks are boring. So it's absolutely priceless. So you can become a big. And so for every new big that we have, that helps to get us one person closer or one star closer to hitting our 15 match. You can also donate dollars. So you may not know, but at our agency, we have an intake process. So we go through, we get to learn about our littles and their families. We get to learn about new mentors. Our mentors, our littles, and their families all go through training to make sure that they're set up for success throughout. And then throughout the year, they also have a mentoring coordinator that touches base with them. There's additional trainings that they can take part in. So they're supported throughout the whole year. So we're also asking for dollars to help create those critical matches to help support the little people in our communities. So our big goal this year is we need Calgary Corporate Challenge help to create and support 15 new matches. That can be done through dollars, and it can be done through donating your time to become a big. And like I said, and like Edwin and Nicholas said, like become an all-star today. And so everything that comes through until September 10th is also doubled. So we could potentially hit those 15 matches times 2 and make it 30. So like I said, you guys can jump onto our website, bbscalgary.ca/charity challenge, or feel free to give Jody and I a shout. We have a central inbox this year. So ccc@bigbigsistersca. You can send an email straight through there and one of us will catch it and we'll get back to you right away. I think that's it from us, Jackie. We can hand it back over to you.
Awesome, thank you so much. And last but not least, we've got Between Friends, our newest charity partner, and I will share my screen now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for hosting this, Jackie and Calgary Corporate Challenge, and for everyone else who patiently has been listening to all of us speak about the causes that are so near and dear to us. And Jackie, thank you for kindly doing my little presentation here. I'm not super tech savvy and didn't even want to attempt it. And it is all photos, not because I'm lazy, but because I really do believe that the photos that you'll see here speak volumes, and they'll do a better job than any statistic or anything that really I can say about Between Friends. But I'll try. So Between Friends is a small nonprofit here in Calgary that does big things to help people with disabilities connect, grow, and belong. So we provide those social opportunities and recreation activities that we all really need to build friendships and maintain relationships and grow our skills and become just enriched human beings who have a rich quality of life. Oh, I don't know what happened. It looks really weird on my screen now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so we have over 800 members. Our organization is pan-disability, so we don't actually require diagnosis or anything. Most of our members, over 40%, are on the autism spectrum, but we have all kinds of individuals of diverse abilities. We just don't focus on what makes us different. We focus on what we value and what we can do together to build relationships and create that sense of belonging. So we primarily run weekend and evening activities, and then we run summer camps. I'm trying to do this really fast because I have so much to say, but our flagship program is Camp Bonaventure, which you can see some of the photos from there. We do programs for kids, for teenagers, for adults, and I think what most people don't realize is the programs for teenagers and adults are even more important in a way, because there's just less and less opportunities in the community for adult members with disabilities to connect and have a place where they can be themselves without judgment. And that's kind of what we do in short. COVID has been extremely challenging for our organization. As you can see, our members require some additional supports that that require physical contact sometimes. So being 6 feet apart is not really something that we can enforce. Wearing a mask when you have a sensory issue is not an option. If you can't read lips, then you can't communicate. There's all kinds of challenges that have made it so that we have decided that we cannot safely run programs in person at this time, which is, you know, for us who work there, is soul crushing because you see all these smiles on the screen. Not having that is really tearing us apart. But we have tried to shift and do what we can to provide virtual programs and strategize our brains off to figure out what we can do to still provide those experiences of connection and belonging. So we have virtual events, we have virtual programs. As you can see, we're doing really the best we can to offer those opportunities. And because we're not really running programs, we were trying to rack our brain of what kind of community goal can we rally Calgary Corporate Challenge to really help us, what's really going to help us now and for the future. And what we decided was that if we could broaden the reach of Between Friends, if we can spread the word, if we could tell people, hey, this is what this little organization does, and they help a population who might not have equal opportunities right now to go and participate in sports and recreation activities. That's what we thought might help us the most when we can relaunch, when we can be there, you know, like we have been for our members, and help us spread the word so that if people are feeling isolated, if people need our help, that they still know that they can reach out to us. So we did a bit of brainstorming, and yeah, so the community goal is social media based. We are planning 3 different social media posts that, similar to the story that we just saw, it's kind of going to highlight a story and then an action item too. So if you do feel compelled to do more than just share a story on social media, you can. We actually did the first one July 24th, so we can kind of backpedal and share that with you again, so that you know you can go to our Between Friends at Calgary BFC on our social media platforms, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and reshare that. It's a beautiful story about one of our members, Constantine, and his struggles and what Between Friends has meant to him. And it's him taking on the Calgary Scotiabank Marathon and raising money for Between Friends. So he's encouraging people to join with him and either by donating or running themselves for Between Friends. And then there's going to be a couple other posts between now and September that are going to be similar, a story that tells you a little bit more about who we are, who our participants are, and why they are part of what we do, and then maybe a little actionable item. So Jackie was super supportive, the Calgary Corporate Challenge team, on like how we could potentially track this. So we're hoping that the more people that can share it from Calgary Corporate Challenge's page or Between Friends' page directly will have the most success in really tracking how many shares we get. Of course, we do want you to encourage your friends and families to reshare. It might just be a little harder to track. So if possible, directing them to our page would be ideal. My contact information is on the Calgary Corporate Challenge website and all the materials. And I'd be happy to talk to you one-on-one about what's going on at our organization and dig a little deeper. There are other opportunities, but we didn't really want to pressure anyone to give, especially now that we're not running programs, but there are opportunities to engage, and I'd really love to connect one-on-one with the team captains, whoever's willing to chat. So thank you for your time. I know you're probably wanting to go get dinner, so thank you, Jackie, and everybody.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Munira. And thanks for everybody for showing up tonight. All the information about the community goals is available on the new web portal, the digital.calgarycorporatechallenge.com. So if you want to donate, you can also click right through our website to donate to the links that they have on their sites. But I encourage you to go to all of the charity websites too to check out what they're doing. Yeah. If anyone has any questions, feel free to email the charity partner that you want to contact, or you can email me and I will get your questions to the people who can answer them. Otherwise, yeah, great. Thanks for coming. Next month will be more of like a social thing. We're trying a board game night because our team just like constantly plays games. So we have ideas and we will make it work. But yeah, I guess that's it. Thanks for coming, everyone.